So, Mr. Harper, while you've just sensitively stuck your scalpel into the nerve bundle that is Canadian culture, Canadian artists, and ordinary Canadians, we want to remind you of a couple things. We're going to vote, and ordinary Canadians are going to vote. And we're here to say no to the cuts that have been made, the petty and minor cuts that have been made yet have killed cultural programs. We're here to say no to those cuts. They must be restored. We demand that anyone expecting our vote restore or replace those cuts.
My name's Johnny Wright, and I'm an artist. I trained for 18 years in my craft. I make a living as a dancer and an actor. Every night, 1,500 people, ordinary people, watch me perform in Dirty Dancing. I've danced all across this country, from BC to the Maritimes. And during my decade with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, we performed the same programming for small Canadian communities as we did for dozens of countries around the world. Why? Because everybody should have the opportunity to experience Canadian culture.
Well, I don't see any champagne, but I'd like to welcome you to our gala today. My name's Dennis McGrath. I'm a Canadian screenwriter. I'm an ordinary Canadian artist. I also happen to work in this industry for about the last 20 years. I'm pleased to say that almost 750,000 Canadians watch an episode of television I wrote on Monday night. And I have very good friends who got 1 million Canadians watching their show Flashpoint this summer. I'm a writer and a producer on a show called The Border that airs on the CBC here Monday nights. I wanted to talk to you today because I'm coming here not just to speak for myself. I'm here to speak for a guy named James. James is the story coordinator for The Border. He's 27 years old. He just moved out of his parents' house and got his first apartment. James is there when I get there in the morning. He is there when I leave at night. And he makes not a lot of money. James is not getting the cocktail dresses, let's put it that way.
So I did a little reworking of that famous Arlo Guthrie. So, this land is your land, this land is my land. From the East Coast fisheries to the BC coastline, from our border cities to our great north waters. This land was made for you and me. In the squares of the cities, in the shadow of the steeples, near the relief office, I see my people, and some are grumbling, and some are wondering if this land's still made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is our land, from the eastern borders to our BC coastland, from the border cities to our great north waters. Sing it out! This land was made for you and me. And you cannot forget that, everybody. You cannot forget. This is our country. Whose country is this? Our country. Whose country is this? Ours. Thank you very much. You got to remember that we hold the power.
We need to do more, and I want to address Stephen Harper and say, I don't know what dancer broke your heart in first year university. And so you took your first impression of artists when you saw her walking across the campus arm in arm with that poet, and part of your heart hardened against the artistic community. I'm really sorry about that. But it's time that you got real, and it's time that you learned that you have to advocate for the Canadian television industry, which is the industry that I'm part of. You have to become a powerful force. If you need any example of what a conservative can do for our industry, look down to California. There's a Republican named Arnold Schwarzenegger whose part of his platform is to advocate that the legislature put in laws that are going to aim at the jobs that we enjoy here in Canada. Now there's a conservative advocating for an industry. You've heard it said that we're $1 billion industry. And my experience, I've been at this, I just realized 20 years, but yeah. My experience in this industry is it has been growing. It has been getting better. One of the reasons it has been getting better, maybe the principal reason, is that we have an arts funding system that allows for the training of people who become professionals, who now have us on the cusp of being a world leader in television and film. And if we can get, I don't think it's too much to ask from a conservative prime minister that he get behind a business that has the potential that we have.
Oh Canada, terre de nous aïeux, ton front est saint, de fleurs glorieuses. Don't let this red coat confuse you. This coat is not the color of the party I choose. The red is for the blood we artists have shed for our art and our voice. Culture is a country's lifeblood. It is what binds us together with compassion, joy, and not a few tears.
One last point, Stephen. It's all the same thing. It's all Canadian culture. From the rich galas to the green ball cap perched on an angle on Oscar Leroy's head. It's all Canadian culture. This country is blessed with talented, dedicated people struggling to make a contribution. Your remarks only make that struggle harder. And to quote Oscar and my late father, that's just stupid. So, from one jackass to another, best wishes, Eric Peterson, a.k.a. Oscar.